So within recent years in the United States, mass shootings have become more so of a recurring tradition rather than a recurring tragedy. For example, in 2007, the United States Department of Justice published this chart on crimes committed with firearms in the United States from 1973 until 2005, showing that over the years relating to aggravated assaults, robberies, and murders, they have gone down steadily in their rates and incidences. However, there has been a rise in mass shootings within this time period in recent years. To add further to this, just the day of the Orlando massacre on June 12th of this year, the LA Times published an article called Deadliest U.S. Mass Shootings 1984 until 2016, focusing on all the most notable mass shootings based on past news reports within this near 30-year period. And that list came to close to 50 mass shootings. However, there's been speculated by various news reporters and sources that there has been tons of more mass shootings that have gone unreported in this time. So we see more in the news and watch in shock and horror. Watch in shock and horror and wonder, how and why is it possible for a single person to kill so many people in a short amount of time and then ultimately kill themselves or be killed off by police? There are reasons why. The main reason is that mass shootings become a recurring tragedy in the United States because of the availability of high-powered or multiple weapons in the hands of mentally unstable or generally enraged individuals against society, as seen in many past examples. What we'll look over today is what weapons are used in mass shooting, the mentality and reasoning behind mass shooters, and finally a couple of examples from the past. Now, first of all, a mass shooter would not be able to carry out an effective killing spree without the right weapons. In a chart published by Jenna LeDuc, the senior legislative attorney of Connecticut State, she focused on all the mass shootings between 1999 until early 2013 and what weapons were used. Commonly in this list, the mass shootings that resulted in the highest number of casualties were weapons such as these: semi-automatic rifles such as the AK-47 and the AR-15. What both of these guns have in common is that they, despite being semi-automatic, that means one bullet per pull of the trigger, they still have a high capacity firepower. And plus, they use 30-plus round magazines, also contributing to their firepower. As illustrated in, if I'm going to escape from the video PowerPoint for a minute, this YouTube video from longtime gun enthusiast Hickok 45, aka Greg Kinman, from December 2008 on the Bushmaster AR-15 rifle. Now, going back into this, and most of the other mass shootings based on Jan LeDuc's list, if I can go back to this slide right here, there has actually been the use of multiple weapons for a mass shooter, as for example, the Columbine High School massacre. This has an advantage because just in case one weapon fails, a mass shooter will have others at their disposal. And this is another alternative to high-capacity firepower. Now, although these weapons were mainly used for law enforcement, self-defense, or hunting, they can be used tools of mass murder when put in the hands of an individual that wants to carry out such an act. Researching into the mentality and reasoning of a mass shooter, two experts in American psychiatry and sociology named Jonathan Metzl and Kenneth McLish published in the American Journal of Public Health, Mental Illness, Mass Shootings, and Politics of American Firearms. What they concluded based on their expert opinion and also their research on past mass shooters is that there's not really one single category of why a mass murderer would carry out their acts. But what they found pretty consistent is that mass murderers have developed a large amount of personal grievances and a sense of personal failure in their lives in which they believe society has done them wrong, and they want to act on the final act of revenge through bloodshed. And also, as Jonathan and Kenneth said in their article, many mass murderers have been diagnosed as being psychopaths or sociopaths, meaning that they are individuals that have general lack of empathy for human life, making it more so possible and easier to kill many people in a short amount of time without any remorse. Now we know what weapons and the mentality of a mass shooter are, we'll look into a couple past examples. First one being first mass shooting in American history, the University of Texas Massacre in 1966, perpetrated by this man, Charles Whitman. In understanding this crime, University of Northern Texas Press writer Gary Lavergne published a book in 1997 called A Sniper in the Tower, focusing on what he found through investigators and other associates in understanding this crime, what led up to it. What he concluded based on his research, quote, was that Charles Whitman had profound personal dissatisfaction and poor self-concept. He basically hated his life and himself and wanted to express that through a final act of mass violence. To add further to it, Lavergne said he climbed to the tower of the university because he wanted to die in a big way, not by suicide, but by taking others with him. So armed with a large arsenal of weapons, as seen here, an hour-and-a-half long killing spree, Charles Whitman shot and killed 14 and injured over 30 others. In a more modern and sadistic example, however, we have the Sandy Hook Elementary School Massacre, deadliest K-12 school shooting in American history, as perpetrated by this young man named Adam Lanza. Also, in understanding this crime and a similar approach, Daily News journalist Matthew Lazide published a book in 2013 called Newtown American Tragedy, consulting likewise with investigators and other associates inside on the school shooting. He concluded that Adam Lanza, although he had a long history of mental issues and deterioration, had a long history of fascination and desire to carry out a mass murdering spree of his own, researching on past mass shooters and mass murderers. As one of the investigators said, FBI criminal profiler Mariel Tull, she described Adam Lanza as extremely callous and deliberate with all the traits of a psychopath. Over this course of time, he trained his mind to view humans as objects. And because of these circumstances, mainly using the Bushmaster AR-15 model rifle here, in 5 minutes, Adam Lanza shot 26 people, including 20 first graders and 6 faculty members inside the school, before taking his life as police arrived on the scene. As we can see, as often we see recently on the news, this is a very serious issue because these tragedies can happen anywhere, anytime, to anybody. Although they're very rare compared to other gun-related crimes, they still result in more carnage all at once. Because of the availability of such weapons behind potential mass murders, we wonder if we, the public, are safe. However, for every one of these crimes, we learn how to apprehend shooters and how to save more lives more than ever before. Final note, we as a people, as in government, law enforcement, and society, we cannot stop all crimes such as these or any crime altogether. We can only alleviate them to as minimum a level as possible in order to save more lives in the future. And that in reality is the best thing we can do. Thank you.